Hey everyone, Hallie here. A couple days ago, I posted a video titled 5 Marvel characters I want to see added into Marvel Rivals, which basically I just went over Marvel characters I wanted to see added into Marvel Rivals. And quite a few of you guys left comments about characters that you guys would like to see added into Marvel Rivals. So I thought it'd be fun to make a video today going over characters that you guys would want to see added into Marvel Rivals and giving my thoughts on those characters and how I could see them fitting into Marvel Rivals. This could be a fun series, so if you guys have any more ideas of characters that could be added into Marvel Rivals or just video ideas in general, let me know down in the comments below, but let's go ahead and get right into it. And before we get into it, let me know what you guys think of the gameplay footage in the background. Not how I'm performing, but the quality of it. I'm using a Elgato to record this footage, so hopefully it looks a little bit better. But anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some characters that you guys would like to see added into Marvel Rivals. The first character that I'm going to be talking about was commented by your favorite Joker 326, and he said Mr. Negative. I believe Mr. Negative could fit very well into Marvel Rivals, as could quite literally any Marvel character, but Mr. Negative could definitely be quite interesting. I personally believe that he would fit into the strategist archetype, as in like the healer archetype where you're focused on buffing and healing your team. In comics and like in things like the Spider-Man video game, Mr. Negative's whole thing is having a bunch of other people fight for him, basically. He's not really a big one-on-one guy, so I could definitely see him creating like a negative, using his negative abilities in order to like maybe buff his teammates, like maybe his teammates get corrupted and they deal like additional damage or something, and then you can debuff the enemies with his his negative realm abilities. I could see him incorporating something like that, and I just feel like he would fit the strategist archetype really well. I could definitely see him having some sort of melee focused kit. I think that could be very interesting, as we don't have any strategists with melee abilities. Or like a melee focused kit. So I think, having him use his katana or like the sword that he has would be really cool. But I also think, you could definitely give him some ranged abilities, have him shoot like energy or whatever at enemies. I think Mr. Negative could definitely fit in the game super well. And I could definitely see him being a strategist. And I think it'd be really cool to see a melee focused strategist. Similar to Loki, I feel like Mr. Negative could fill a role of, maybe he has the ability to summon like demons, and those demons can maybe heal your team or maybe attack the enemies. I feel like that'd be really cool. And I just think Mr. Negative could fit perfectly as a strategist within Marvel Rivals. The next character we have here was left by Thea Gorinardo 2484, and they said, "We need Morbius." I feel like Morbius could fit very well into Marvel Rivals as long as they're not casting Jared Leto for the role. But with the vampire season coming up, I feel like Morbius would fit perfectly. And I just think, having a vampire character would be really cool within Marvel Rivals. I could definitely see his kit being focused around like bleed attacks. I definitely see him being a duelist. I feel like it would make sense for him to be a duelist as opposed to like, any other class. I feel like Morbius would just fit as a duelist, and I just see his kit being focused around like being a high mobility character while also like having melee attacks that focus on giving the enemies bleed. Of course, bleed isn't currently in Marvel Rivals, but if it were to be added, of course it would just be like some sort of damage over time attack where, let's say Morbius's main attack is like a vampire bite, right? Like he bites his enemies. And then one bite does like 80 damage, and then it applies bleed that does like 20 damage over 3 seconds. I feel like that would fit really well, and I feel like Morbius definitely should have some sort of bleed mechanic on his character. And of course, if he is going to be applying bleed and biting the enemies, I feel like his attack should heal him a little bit. I feel like that'd be a unique ability, especially if he's going to be a melee-focused character. I feel like it would just make the most sense for him to be a melee-focused character. Maybe he has a side ability where he shoots out bats or something. But yeah, I definitely see him being a melee-focused character. And maybe when he bites his enemies and applies his bleed effects, he heals. I feel like that'd be just a really cool character idea. Maybe instead of throwing bats, he just transforms into a bat, and that can be like a mobility thing that he can do. I feel like that'd be so cool, and I just feel like he would fit into the game so well. It is quite similar, of course, to Wolverine as I described this character. But, you know, I feel like there can definitely be more melee-focused characters in this game. And I feel like Morbius would be a fantastic duelist within this game. Pretty simple character all around, but I feel like, you know, it is a pretty easy layup, you know, just a vampire character that applies bleed, and whenever they attack an enemy or have bleed on an enemy, they gain bonus health. I feel like that'd be really cool. And yeah, I think Morbius is, again, just one of those characters that would be pretty neat. I know a lot of people kind of have a bad impression of him due to the Morbius movie, but, you know, maybe this will allow more people to be introduced to Morbius without Jared Leto being there. So anyways, let's go ahead and go to the next character. This comment was left by the Wee Man Wee 5963, and they said that they should add a character called Silverfoot, where basically all they do is just find an Iron Fist and kill him. Now, of course, this is a joke about this person hating Iron Fist. However, I do think we could add a Iron Fist villain, and I think it'd be really cool to add an Iron Fist villain because Iron Fist is such a cool character. Why not add a Iron Fist villain, and what better villain to add for Iron Fist than the Steel Serpent? Now, I'm sure a lot of you don't even know who the Steel Serpent is, and you guys probably don't even know much about Iron Fist. But basically, for a very simplified version of who the Steel Serpent is, he basically is just like the villain of Iron Fist. He's super jealous of Iron Fist. And he has the same like superpower as Iron Fist, but he has the evil version of it. He's like basically very similar to Iron Fist. So I just think he would be really cool to add into Marvel Rivals, as he is an opponent, he is a villain to Iron Fist, and he is a pretty overshadowed character, so why not give him some love? I think the Steel Serpent would be a really cool Vanguard character, but of course he could also be a duelist. The issue with this character is that he is so similar to Iron Fist, except he's pretty much just the evil version of him, that it's hard to like really make him unique. And I don't want him to be like a pure copy and paste of Iron Fist, so I feel like this would be a very good and just unique Vanguard character. Essentially Iron Fist with, you know, maybe more health is what I'm thinking. I just think it would be pretty cool. Maybe he uses his like energy powers to absorb damage or something. I'm not too sure, but I do think it would be really cool to have some lesser known characters, because we already have so many absolute superstar characters like the Hulk, Iron Man, and soon we're gonna have the Fantastic Four, and you know, we have the Avengers, we have even like we just have so many characters. So I feel like having some lesser known characters would be really cool, and I think it would be great to see. The next character was commented by Ash Tree Dweller, and they commented, "I would love to see Gorr the God Butcher. Just the idea of all black, the necrosword swinging around, cutting down your enemies." Yeah, Gorr the God Butcher would be super cool, and I feel like he would be, you know, fit very well into Marvel Rivals. And he would also be quite interesting, as we don't really have too many, like, cosmic characters. So, I don't know, I feel like he'd be really cool. I could definitely see him as a duelist character. I feel like that would just make the most sense. Maybe even a specialist, or not specialist, sorry, a strategist would be really cool. I don't know, I just feel like he'd be really cool. Of course, you gotta have the all black necro sword, like that has to be part of his kit, so I feel like he would mainly be a melee focused character. I would like to see Gorr incorporate magic into his kit. You know, maybe he can do something like mark an enemy, like maybe he throws out a projectile, if it hits the enemy or something, they're marked, and Gorr does like extra damage against them or something. That'd be really cool, and it'd fit into his character. His mobility could of course also be incorporated with his magic, in, you know, just the ability to teleport. Maybe he has the ability to teleport. I just see him as a super aggressive duelist character who maybe is like able to get in and get out of fights really easily. I think Gorr would be a really cool character, and they could incorporate his sword and like his magical abilities. I feel like they just have so much to work with, so I definitely agree that Gorr would be a very cool character. And the last character that we have here was left by I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce this name, but they said Sauron. Basically, he's a really cool dinosaur villain. I think Sauron would be a really cool character, and yes, he is a dinosaur. So I think, I don't know, I feel like he would be a really cool character, and we need more flying characters within Marvel Rivals. So I feel like, you know, why not add a flying strategist character? What if Sauron was a strategist? His basic attack, of course, would probably just be like his talons. I feel like that'd make the most sense. And I feel like he shouldn't be able to heal his teammates, with his talons. I just don't really think that makes sense. I'm thinking like Adam Warlock, you know, how Adam Warlock's main ability doesn't heal allies, similar to Sauron. I don't think Sauron's ability, main attack should heal allies. I think it'd be really cool if he had the ability to like select a certain enemy to drain health from them, and then, you know, heal his teammates with that health that Sauron drains. I think that'd be a really cool ability, and you know, it kind of makes sense with his character. For those of you who don't know, in the comics, Sauron is able to drain like the life force of people. So I think it makes sense if most of his abilities is focused on like draining the enemy and then allowing your team to heal or healing yourself. I feel like that'd be just really cool. I feel like it'd be really unique to kind of have like a leech ability where the leech heals your team rather than just yourself. I think that'd be really cool, and I feel like Sauron would definitely be a really interesting addition into the cast of Marvel Rivals. And I mean, it's not like animals are completely off the table. We have Jeff the Land Shark, who fits into the game perfectly, so why not see Sauron? I feel like Sauron would be really cool in Marvel Rivals. And that's going to round us off for some characters that you guys think should be added into Marvel Rivals. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more Marvel Rivals content. And what other characters would you guys like to see? Maybe I'll make another video on this, who knows. But yeah, thank you so much for watching to the very end. And yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.